Right. So one of the things that we have here now is, so my foundation is a traditional concrete foundation. They're told me that the flame, the heat has now done some damage to my foundation, so they're gonna have to take my foundation out. I'm going, I'm not an engineer, I don't know what you're talking about. It's fucking concrete. What do you mean? Somehow the intensity of the heat is compromised here, but you're just telling me that your shit, its integrity is not compromised by a house fire.
This material will take 2,900 degrees. 2,900 degrees and still not combust. It still won't flame, okay? The Twin Towers went down at 2,300 degrees, okay? They estimated fire tornadoes in Redding, California that burned, that the temperature got to 2,300 degrees. So you're still 600 degrees before you even have a failure.
So what's key then is this concept of integrity. So my band is interested in legacy assets. Right? I want stuff that's going to last the next 100 years with nominal renovations. Right? And that's all we're interested in. I don't want to go stick built. So our most recent build was SIP, steel insulation steel. But you know what? My R factor is up through the roof, but at the same time, it's because I didn't know about this product. So what are we going to do? So I've got some massive construction coming up, and I'm here to talk to you guys today about, okay, let's have a look at this product. Right? I need to touch it. I need to feel it. I need to smell it. I need to hear it. I need to taste it. I don't know. Who licks cinder blocks? I do. I'm just saying I don't have to.
Now, what I want to do is I want to train Canadian crews to do this building. I sure as hell am not going to come up with my crews and do all the building. I want to train crews, and it is less arduous in training than CMU. Your main objective is to get that base course good and level and plumb right off the bat. After that, it's a 16-inch polymer thin set, your bed joint and your head joint. So after that, a monkey can lay it. My crew doesn't need to hear that, but a monkey can lay it after that. Yeah. So it's very simple. It cuts on a table bandsaw. It cuts just like wood. Okay, you can cut a paper thin strip. The saw cuts so square because you've got a 1/16 of an inch forgiveness, between joints, between bed joint and head joint. So all the tools, I've developed a lot of tools. I want to bring the whole industry to Canada here because I've built all over the world with it. Okay, I've built all over the world with it. When Paradise happened, it became a moral obligation to me. 85 people died in the fire. I mean, that's it. We can't even imagine the horror that must have been. They videotaped a guy that died in his car, was burned to death in his car holding a baby, that kind of thing. People here, the circumstances that took place here and they got out without any deaths is phenomenally fortunate. It's
20
phenomenally
minutes.
fortunate.
I can't believe how you guys able to evacuate in 20 minutes.
Okay, here's the situation. Right, that's amazing. Look at that damn tree. Which way does the wind blow? That's called a flag tree.
Okay.
Right? So we had fucking 5 weeks of drought. We were at 50 plus degrees Celsius, and I don't give a shit what your weather station says at 49.6. And I know we were at 55 degrees for more than 6 consecutive days. Why? Because Minister of Environment hides his goddamn weather station in the shade. Not actually here. So this was 55 degrees for 6 consecutive days. There hadn't been any moisture in 5 weeks, and the wind was blowing like you'd never seen before. No, that's what happened to my hair. It blew off because I spent an entire lifetime down on the river in the wind. Or Scottish genetics, not too sure. It's one or the other. So what we have here, 20 minutes. Jan, you saw the smoke. My wife got a text at 5 o'clock, said Main Street was burning. She looked out, okay? The first person who called 911 called 911 at 4:48, okay? In 12 minutes or 22 minutes, my house was on fire. How did it get from down there to there in 22 minutes? And by 5:20, my house was gone. Alrighty, so we knew what was going on. And the thing is, what do we do about it now? I don't cry over spilt milk. I want to build back better. I believe in what Jan is saying, is you don't build back this.
Yeah. And the thing of it is,
Get a little
as long as I could stand
Put your
here
hand
and
over
hold
there.
this
That-
torch, My hand's 1 inch away. Wow. Don't touch it, but you can feel the heat radiate off
Yeah,
that,
there.
off the
Yeah.
back. Nothing.
Sure. Yeah.
Nothing.
I believe you, it's hot.
Yeah, and I get that. That's why I say
No.
I'm here to talk about, okay, so when can we get your product up here? When can we start building the very first ones? But first of all, I want to talk about though is, am I buying this shit and trying to get it across Biden's border? Or can we actually build this shit in Lytton?
No, you can build it.
No. So one of the things here is, so, AAC products are manufactured in BC. No, they're not manufactured in BC. They're manufactured at LBC, Lytton, BC. So what do we need? So you had 4 basic ingredients that I read on your list. Sun, the moon, the stars, and water. What happens is I have no idea what those materials were, but I know that you put a bunch of stuff like this and eventually it hardens into that. So the question is, what is the availability of these materials? Because with climate change, I won't be able to bring you up here next year. Why? Because either the border is closed due to COVID-19, there's a wildfire, there's a flood, there's Biden's Build America's First, or whatever that shit is. I may not be able to bring you up here. So one of the things is, how do we create a sub-entity to you guys here in BC?
We build a plant right here
In
Lytton.
Columbia.
No, in Lytton.
British Columbia is one of the biggest states, provinces around.
Wherever.
Oh, no, not wherever.
Wherever you want the plant.
Oh, it's called LBC, right? So,
You
so
got,
what we do
you
here, why?
got
Because,
28 million to build it.
hey, no, but the feds do.
I reached in my pocket this morning and I was a little shy.
Right.
28 million.
Right. So the thing is, it's not so much just building the manufacturing facility; it's making sure that the supply materials that are necessary to build are available.
You know what, John, you can address that with respect to the railways.
Yeah, I'm the only one in the United States that ships by rail. And here's my idea. Since we know CN is being investigated for the cause of it, right?
Both.
Both, because they both use each other's railway here.
So,
Yeah.
so for PR, before they get their ass stuck, they bring up rail cars here. Bring up rail
If
cars.
there was only a siding next to 240 acres of land, where could that be?
He has a
Because right now, John, right now the plant's in Mexico,
Monterey, Mexico.
So it
There's
can.
one in Haines, Florida.
Okay. So
Okay?
the Mexican.
And there's going to be one near Lytton, British Columbia.
Yeah.
And if you put $28 million of infrastructure in your tax zone, what's in it for you?
Well, jobs. Jobs.
Oh yeah, jobs.
Well, look at the jobs.
Well, I mean, that's important to you. You know, people have to
Oh
survive.
yeah, Christy Clark used to say taxes, jobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
If
see-
you put a $28 million manufacturing plant, somebody's going to want you there. Why? Because you're not going to get forgiveness on the damn taxes, but you might get forgiveness on the land rental. So what you do here, then how do you recover those taxes? I mean, that's I say, to me, $28 million is it's $1 or $28 million. It's irrelevant. At the end of the day, is this the product of the future? And the answer is yes.
You see, the other thing about these non-combustible products is, in the future, our insurance rates on these non-combustible houses will be less, because they're already
course.
there's other outfits that, have non-combustible products that are already working with the insurance industry to get lower rates for the people in them.
I won't speak for here, but I'll speak for Edmonton. About a 9-month building cycle to build a house. Insurance is somewhere between 8 and 10 grand. You know what the insurance is on this? Because the shell of the house can be put up in a week. And once the shell is up, I'm talking about the walls, the roof, windows and doors.
Yeah.
There you go.
Here's a substitute for drywall. This is magnesium oxide board.
Made in Edmonton, by the way.
Takes 2,600 degrees. Okay?
Is that Z to zero?
So you're, yeah.
Yep.
That's the outfit that makes it.
AAC meets every lead criteria in the U.S. and outperforms it. Because there's no toxicity in its manufacturing, there's no toxicity, there's no VOCs release or anything else. It's the most pristine environment for your envelope there. They need to be doing it in hospitals, hotels, office buildings, so on and so forth.
Because there's that other outfit, MGO, in Alberta that is making the magnesium board as well, right?
These guys are in Edmonton. I don't know who. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Z0. That's one of the outfits that I heard was making the board, and then there was, I think it's MGO was the other outfit that
Could
is
be. I
making it.
can't answer that.
I mean, to build a plant, I mean, you're looking. I mean, you're right about that. The plant, the jobs, the economy, the tax base, but it would take 12 months, 18 months to build a plant. But
Well, the interim, what could be done is just bring product up.
exactly. Well,
As crazy as that may sound, and the fact that that is carbon intensive, you need to understand here is when you frame this, we talk about the fire intensity and the integrity. That's two words. Next is, tax base and jobs and economy. But most importantly, what is the number one conversation in everybody's minds? Is freaking climate change. Is this going to exacerbate the global existential crisis? Is this harm reduction? You know what? The solution is buy shit local. Yeah. I don't want to buy your stuff from Mexico because I have a carbon cost of shipping it here. So if I'm manufacturing it here, what's my carbon cost? It's from like farm to plate in 2 minutes.
You know what eliminates the carbon by having to ship it up from Mexico? Its gas release is hydrogen, pure hydrogen, okay?
Yeah.
Which totally mitigates carbon in the atmosphere. And also it's a crystalline, so it absorbs carbon into the building itself. And unlike trees that eventually release it, it never releases it.
Right.
But you're exactly right. You want it near, where you're going to be building. But a plant can supply a 600 to 800 mile radius all day long.
All day long.
All day long.
Right.
Yeah.
But what we need is the first buildings, followed by the manufacturing, right? Again, when we monetize this thing, is this your company or your worker?
No, it's his company.
it's his
Right.
company.
So the question is, every person I've ever known says, how do I make a buck out of this? You said there's a moral obligation. You set this up, so you get a franchise. You get a franchise fee. You call it passive income. I'm sitting down there in Haines, Florida going, Jesus, my check just showed up from LBC. And this is great. But the point is, we need to look at your product because you just said it. If producing this product is net zero, that's critical. Producing concrete is not.
Yeah.
Cutting down trees is not. Why? Because we cut down Mother Nature's carbon sequestration and then we burn the branches and the tops.
Yeah.
Ask anybody in the Amazon.
Yeah.
So what we have here then is so what do we do with the loggers then? We give them 1 year of masonry and put them to work manufacturing and building this
No, it's
shit.
not even that.
It's called a
I've trained
just
carpentry
transition.
crews, I've trained drywallers.
Can I see your product?
This, I want to show you this. This is,
Good luck editing this shit up.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I'm going to take it back to my friends in Ottawa and just say that this has to be done. And this is my
okay,
goal. Sorry, I'll
cementitious
talk later.
product, right?
What's that?
This is the stucco, okay? Goes directly to the AAC material. Now, without evaporation, we could come back tomorrow and the same amount of water would be there. What would you think would be going on normally?
Well,
It'd be
obviously,
seeping through that crack,
it'd be
wouldn't it?
seeping through the crack or being absorbed into the material.
Okay, let me try and emphasize it if I don't blow it a little bit. I'm trying to show the waterproof. You see that? Dry as a bone. Dry as a bone.
Amazing.
Yeah, nothing.
Oh my God. Fireproof, and for fuck's sakes, osmosis doesn't work.
Waterproof.
What the hell?
So where does
mold proof? On and on and on.
where does
You
the
know
mold
why
go?
This is important. 4 times in the last 6 years, my fucking basement leaked. Why? Because we build in sumps. There's a rain event, it comes into my yard, it hits my goddamn basement, and the basement, built in 1973, is full of cracks. You know what it's like coming home on a Sunday night to 2 inches of water on your floor? It's a real pain in the patooey. So the fact that, again, it's another major selling point. My only problem is next you're going to want me to buy the chopper or the slapper.
So, well, the reason concrete, when
This
it's
is turning
heated,
into a...
Yeah, info. Oh, what's that?
That was his phone.
oh,
Oh, what he's doing,
here is
he's being a smart ass to show one of his selling points is sound transfer.
what?
Sorry, John.
if you
I would
want to
prefer
use this as
Sachimo is
drywall,
a wonderful
how
word.
would you attach a picture to it?
John, just put a screw into this.
Yep.
You have special screws?
No, it's just like drywall.
Okay.
Now that's for your interior walls. Your
Right.
interior walls can be done out of AAC too,
Right.
but it's not, it's not
Right.
all that cost effective. This is the same thing, magnesium oxide board
Right.
that's used for your roof sheathing,
Right.
okay? And it's brought into Edmonton,
Right.
okay? So it comes into Edmonton. There's a plant going in Silver Springs,
Right.
Nevada.
Right.
Oh, did he just say Nevada again? Is that what part of Alberta is Nevada? I don't give a shit where the manufacturing is. You just mentioned I'm gonna go back to Ottawa and talk to people.
Yeah.
I don't give a rat's ass if it's manufactured LBC in Alberta because we're Canadians. We will take your idea with your permission and use it.
Steel
Well, that's the
trusses.
partnership. That's the
That's
trust of the
partnership.
That's the partnership.
That's
we're
how
looking-
you take on climate change.
Yep.
Is through successful collaborations. This is not innovative technology. It's been around since 1923. It's not in my province and it's not in my country.
Oh,
There's
your
there's
insulation will
something
come
wrong with that picture.
in between. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so it can be a spray foam insulation, which when
The
you
trusses.
when you make your top half fireproof,
Yeah.
you need no vents.
Right.
Okay, with the spray foam.
I'm glad you mentioned vents because how the hell did the brick building burn downtown? The bank.
The bank? The roof?
The roof. Diane Miller had a restaurant and she had grease up in her vents. So you had a brick building, the vent caught on fire, it went in
Yeah.
and bam. So one of the important parts about resiliency is watching your damn venting.
And your embers. Embers are the most cause for the fires.
Sure.
Yeah. And when they get in the attic vents,
Yeah.
they hit a wood truss, boom.
Yeah.
An ember can sit on that for a very, very long time. In fact, it's going to go out before it's going to cause any fire. Yeah.
So,
Okay, the first thing is there's something wrong with that piece of steel. That is aesthetically pleasing, but a waste of fucking money. Why do we need peaked roofs? One of your pictures shows a nice little adobe with a flat roof. Why do I need a peaked roof? Because people say that looks good. I don't need looks good. I need something that is affordable, that's resilient, right? That is cool in the summer, warm in the winter, doesn't fucking burn, and now doesn't leak. What else you got?
You had a question. No, while he's thinking.
when you create these panels, like, do you put metal edges on them or at all? Because one of the YouTube videos I watched, it was sort of like they were creating panels with the aircrete in them, and they had like metal edges on them that they were connecting together.
No, for roof panels or floor panels, they
I
have like a tongue and groove that they
Okay.
come together like
Right.
that, and you can do your roofs out of that. Right now, shipping panels out of Monterey is not cost effective. If you have a plant here, my plant that I've designed can produce the panels.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my plant that I've designed can produce the stucco, the thin set, the base mortar, have all the tools, everything else. One of the problems with the industry in this country is, or in North America here, is you buy the block here, you got to go over here buy the saws, you got to go over here buy the thin set, you got to go over here buy the stucco. My plan will be an all one-stop shop.
You need
It'll
to
have
be there
everything.
because that's what we're seeing now with the COVID-19 and climate change crisis is you're seeing systems failures. Okay, so rather than stockpiling inventory, people are saying, hey, look, because of transportation effectiveness, I will just buy 10 widgets, right? And the next month I'll buy 10 more instead of stocking 100. But then guess what happened? Something happened. Then I order my 10 widgets. I'm sorry, I'm out of stock. Alrighty, so now that's why there is a problem buying solar panels. That's why there's a problem buying electric vehicles or just any other vehicles. There's been a systems failure of these parts. So if you were, just what you said, if you were self-performing everything, right? That's fantastic, because what's coming is a gradual breakdown of the import-export market.
It's already happening. They
Yeah,
got
and
40
what-
container ships off the coast of California right now, you know, that are backed up to be held.
We had 60 in the harbor here when our fire went through.
Yeah.
I don't understand what happens
Imagine the cost of
And I don't want to buy shit from China. How about that?
I know, but all these
Well, one of the
ships
things
that
with-
have
with-
gone
not buy
contracts in
things
place,
from
you load us so
Well, one of the
fast,
things
we
that
start paying.
fascinating to me
Man,
is the
and so
fact
when
that
the delay
you can,
happens-
when you build stuff,
Yeah.
you can cut a groove into the AAC, run your wiring. So in the 4 days, very simply, you can get from nothing to 4 days, you have a house wired up and ready to go and heated.
So what we had here is this gentleman was explaining that from basically start of construction to end, it's 9 months. But what you're doing is within a very short period of time, you have the materials, it's just waiting for your thin set, your shit to dry, whatever that looks like. But so what happens is it's your construction schedule. You can't build this in 55-degree temperature. You can, but the problem is you're going to kill your workers. And for some godforsaken reason, in BC, we have something called the Workers' Compensation Board rules that says you can only work now from 5 in the morning till 10 and come in after 6 till midnight. Why? Because it's too damn hot. So I don't know where Paradise Valley
Well,
is.
I'm an old Arizona boy, so we
You know
knew
what, huh?
how.
Yeah. So what happens is, so when my wife got that text at 5 o'clock, okay, it was 55 degrees. Where was my wife? In bed. In Lytton, what you did was you stayed out of the heat. So what happens is, so my family were sleeping. You're right. We were lucky to get out.
Yeah. Well,
Because-
here's a whole nother aspect too. In major evacuations, people die. That's, I don't care how good their plan is or
It's not the
anything
fire
else.
that kills you, it's
People
the panic.
die.
It's the
Okay.
panic.
How about the ability to shelter in place in case
Yes.
of a fire? Yes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is the model of the future. So you're gonna come. You guys probably drove through Kanakabuck, okay? So I have what's called a community building that has solar, batteries, and you know what? The building is connected to the grid, but if the grid goes down, the batteries are 36 hours. But because it's being charged by the sun, I don't give a rat's ass how long the grid goes down. So if you're hot and the power's out in your house, come on down to Kanaka Bar. Let's watch the Super Bowl together or whatever fucking event is going on in the summertime. Same as the extreme freeze up. Hi, I'm from Texas. We're not going to freeze up, but we did. But up at Kanaka Bar, the power was out because of the weird wind events, and we're watching the Texas freeze. And then after the freeze came the thaw, and if you thought frozen water was bad, wait till your basement thaws. And the mold that's currently undergoing. So you have compounding and never-ending building stuff.
Your house, when
We
these
did
net zero
a
houses
2,100
get
square
put in,
foot
they can
footprint.
see what works,
Okay.
what doesn't.
That's 1,500 square foot of living
One of the
space and
things
600
that
square feet of garage.
A lot
We
of
came in, set up, and
don't
walked
really-
away in
myself,
7
I
days.
look at those big overhangs.
In 7 days.
That way the
I have a
water
car.
doesn't fall on
I
your
did
neck.
saying, my house was 30 by 32, 2 floors, 6 bedroom, 2 baths. Okay. I've been pricing it out now at anywhere from 120, which was the original price in the 70s when I was growing up, was 120 a square. At this moment, so this is really important. My SIP construction comes in at about 3 1/4.
3 1/4.
Next thing you know, we're now pricing shit out at $500 a square. So we need to know your analysis. Okay, if you go with a 2x6 wall traditional, this is its square footage cost. So leave out the foundations, the water, the sewage, and clearing. From you're going to compare apples to apples. This wall costs this. This wall costs this. So you just said, so this is stick, right? This is SIP. This is Nexi. So John thinks Nexi, as far as I know, is one of the most expensive products out there. But he's like, Nexi told me they can give me a wall for $125 a square.
We'll
Really?
be building them in Paradise for $240 a square foot. And that's all the bells and whistles. That's real stone veneer. That's granite countertops. That's custom cabinets. On and on and on.
You know what your only problem with that 240 squares? What's the problem with that?
I'm not gonna. What?
U.S. dollars, buddy.
Yeah. So yeah, 300.
The
yeah.
point is though, but if you're manufacturing up here, then your 240 a square in U.S. dollars can be 240 in Canadian dollars because we're not dealing with the mobility cost of bringing the materials in.
Bringing it up to Paradise, California, the shipping over doubles the cost of the material. If you're manufacturing it right here, you've cut that in half.
Yeah. So what you're doing is you're looking at all those things we've talked about: fireproof, soundproof, waterproof, right? And when that says we got the bigger picture of the climate change stuff, the carbon cost of getting the materials. Most importantly, I need to know how carbon neutral your production is. This is a big selling point for Canadians now. This is carbon neutral. Or, more importantly, it's not carbon neutral, it's worse. It's carbon negative because once you build it, it becomes an anthropogenic carbon sequestration facility.
Yes.
Slap that in a bank and call me Roy. I'm just saying it, whether it's true. So, even if it's just 1%, this product can actually help pull carbon out of the air.
Yes. Here's the thing I was talking about in the manufacturing. It's 4 basic ingredients: Portland cement, 1/5 the amount that you'd use in that CMU block.
So right now that is 4/5 reduction in GHG emissions.
Okay.
Right?
Then you've got silica sand, the most predominant raw material in the world.
Let me just look around. We probably don't have any sand.
Yeah. I wonder where they're.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
We have a product down in Boston Bars called white sand silica. I don't know what it is.
I test it.
Oh, I'm just saying is if you've got white sand, right? But again, it's exploitive. But sand, can you create it through crushing rock?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So what happens is one thing that Lytton is famous for after the heat is it's fucking rocks.
Yeah. Granite.
So the question is, where does silica come from? If we don't have a ready source, can we crush it from the source that is here?
And I would do a feasibility test in the area, okay, to make sure of the most economical place to place the plant, okay, for materials coming in.
And I'm not saying it's LBC. I'm saying that LBC needs an economy. LBC needs to put British Columbians back to work, right? But if it's not here, maybe it makes sense in Chilliwack. Maybe it makes sense in Kamloops. I don't give a shit. What makes sense is it's got to be in BC and Canada because Monterey, I'm not going to be able to source your materials in the next 40 years. There is a shitstorm of hurt coming, and I'm not going to be able to get your product to Canada.
Yep.
But you're still down in Haines, Florida, going like this, going, geez, it sucks to be the world. Oh, look, my check, my franchise fee check just showed up again. I love it. You're sitting down there, and what happens is, am I an entrepreneur? Absolutely. I have negative dollars in the bank.
You want a plant here. You want a plant here.
In Canada.
Yeah.
I'm going to build one in Oregon. Okay.
Not close enough.
I know, but it is for all those people in Oregon.
All right.
Yeah.
And for Washington.
Who's
and-
Brad Weiss?
Huh?
Who's Brad Weiss?
Who's going to fund it, or?
All righty. Which one of you guys know who Brad Weiss is, and when is he getting us the 28 million?
Brad, this is our MLA,
Uh-uh.
or MP, sorry.
Yes, very good.
MP, sorry.
Is he with the correct party or what?
He's with the Conservative Party of Canada federally.
Okay, so that
And it doesn't matter. The point is that when you need advocacy,
Right.
you ask where's the $28 million coming from, and the place is Ottawa.
well,
Ottawa needs to make these strategic investments so that Canadians have hope.
Yeah.
We need, this product is the future, and we are such laggards here in Canada. By the time you're Portland, so we'll be importing from not Monterey, not Haines, from Portland. And I'm going, well, that's still just dumb.
Yeah. No, you need.
Do you care
need a
whether or not
plant.
your check comes from Lytton, BC, Portland,